Now, before we get into the video, if you are a huge fan of Batman, anything, movies, comics, games, any of that stuff, go follow the Gotham Knights on Twitter. It's a community that me, Kobe, Irongen Gamer, the Arkham channel, and Arkham Photo Mode all started on Twitter. We're also going to be having a YouTube channel very soon, but if you could go follow their Twitter and try to get to maybe 1,000 followers very soon, that would be awesome. And also, stay tuned because we're going to be posting everything in terms of the Batman movie, in terms of the Arkham games. Whenever that stuff in the news starts to roll out, when those things are confirmed, you are going to be hearing it first on that Twitter. So go give it a follow if you want to stay up to date to everything, and thank you guys. And I hope you enjoy the video. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Salvage here, and today we're going to be talking about Batman Arkham 2019, the new Batman game that is potentially coming out this year, which, I mean, I'm very confident in it, and what we do not want in this game as fans. Now, this is just a list compiled by me, which is basically just, projecting my thoughts as a Batman fan about things that I don't want to see in this next game. Basically, kind of taking criticisms from the previous Arkham games and injecting them into this list. So, the first one is having no Gotham. No Gotham has been a very big thing in the last Arkham games, and although the settings have been very great, like Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City, those are fun. Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight are probably the closest things we get to Gotham, but those aren't Gotham. Arkham Origins is essentially just a little section off part of Arkham City, and then a bigger map opens up with the bridge. And then you have Arkham Knight, which is 3 islands. And that's not Gotham. Sorry to say, but Gotham is essentially the city that you see around. Even Arkham City gives the best illustration of what the outside world looks like. And that's what I want to see. That's the type of Gotham that I want to see. I don't want to see a section off part anymore. Why does Spider-Man get to swing around New York City and have the time of his life, but Batman's to section off to small little buildings and not even skyscrapers? I mean, sure, Arkham Knight's the closest thing we get to skyscrapers, but there's not even, there's only like one at a time. We don't even get to really be up in the air for a long time because there's only like 2 skyscrapers on the entire map. If we had Gotham in this game, there would be skyscrapers everywhere, and it would be so badass. It would be really, really cool being Batman, and then jumping off of a huge skyscraper, bigger than Wayne Tower. Maybe the actual Wayne Tower that we see in Gotham in Arkham City. That would be dope. Like, honestly, I wish that they have Gotham in their next Batman game that they have, because it feels like it's not Batman without it. Founders Island, Miyagani Island, no. Give me Gotham. Give me Gotham City. That's what I want. The next one kind of ties in with no Gotham, and it's an empty city. I think people are sick and tired of seeing nobody, no civilians, no, drivers on the map. And for Arkham Knight, it makes sense, they all evacuated. Fine. For Arkham City, you weren't really in Gotham, and same thing with Arkham Asylum. Arkham Origins is the only one that actually didn't have no evacuation. It was just Christmas and everybody decided to stay in. I guess, I guess nobody was just chilling outside, it was nothing. It was radio silence from the civilians, and that was empty. And it was a large criticism that WB Montreal got, and I think that they're going to be addressing that criticism in the next game. And I believe that there will be civilians. This is just my speculation. I actually think that there could be civilians in the next game, and I think it would make sense because if you look at WB Montreal and what one of their biggest criticisms were for the last game, it wasn't the story. It wasn't really even the gameplay. It was that it was an empty, dead world. There was nothing out there. It was just, every so often you see a criminal group, a little criminal pack, that's it. And I think that in the next game, WB Montreal is going to take that criticism and start putting civilians in there. And one way to do it, honestly, and this is just a really good idea, is to have Robin. A lot of people don't understand that if you had Robin, he would interact with civilians. And if this is the golden age, let's just say that this is when Batman is at his peak popularity. And, all the civilians love him because he just stopped the Joker, he just stopped all these assassins, and he basically just saved Gotham. Right? What if that happened and nobody's scared of Batman per se, but when you see Robin, he's all colorful and then the crowd and the audience and the streets start kind of going more towards him, and Batman ignores anybody that comes towards him, and Dick Grayson's the one that interacts with the civilians. I thought that would be a perfect premise to have if you have Dick Grayson, if you have any Robin actually, because they would in ways interact with other people as Robin. That's just what kids do, they're going to be having fun in that suit. And that's a good way to get rid of the no empty city, is to have a lighter character be with Batman who is able to interact with civilians. The next one is Riddler's bullshit. Okay, I just Can we get rid of this guy? Enigma packs weren't fun. I think that, again, that's another thing that was really heavily criticized about Batman Arkham Origins was the Enigma packs. They weren't interesting. They weren't something that you wanted to get. And at the end of it, it was just a goddamn Riddler trophy. That's what you got at the end of it. Oh my god. Anyway, I just don't want to see him anymore. Bring in a different villain. I really don't care who. Clue Master would be probably the best one. I think that you can actually do a couple cool side missions with that. Maybe scattered throughout the city, there's a bunch of clues and maybe crime scenes and stuff like that. And you and Dick Grayson have to find out what happened, and when you find out what happens, it gives you another clue to the next crime scene, and it actually increases in difficulty each time, and it makes you feel like an actual detective when you start solving the really difficult ones in, like, you know, around 10 or 11 and 12. Those are when it starts getting really crazy. That would be cool for Clue Master, and then you fight him at the end. The final mission is you finding him and fighting him. Way better than Riddler, honestly. I honestly just think that would be cooler than Riddler. And the only reason why Riddler was in all of these games was fan service. I don't think they wanted to use him in Arkham Origins. I think they were forced to, just to have that stupid little origin story for Riddler. But I'm just saying Riddler's annoying and he needs to go. I don't want to see any more plot holes. It's not that hard. I don't know what else to say about this. Arkham Origins had so many plot holes. The first and most notable one was the first meeting between Harley Quinn and Joker. Unless I'm missing something here, their first meeting was in Arkham Asylum, not, you know, Blackgate. And the whole, you know, speech, the whole killing joke thing, that never happened either in the Arkham continuity, if we're actually being honest here. Not to mention Bane's thing, Alfred dying, just the fact that it was set like 10 years before Batman Arkham Asylum, but Barbara Gordon's like 15 in this, which would make her 25 in Arkham Asylum, which would make her like 27 and, you know, Arkham Knight, but she looks 35. You know, there's a lot of continuity issues, and I think with the sequel, having it closer to Arkham Asylum could make it a little bit better, and having more obscure villains like the Court of Owls, who we never heard of in the Arkhamverse, it would make sense because, you know, it's just Batman and Dick Grayson fighting them. Nobody else would really know about that, and of course we don't really see interactions between Dick Grayson and Batman, so we wouldn't really hear that conversation. So it would make sense if, you know, the Court of Owls were this secret organization that nobody knew about. Of course, that wouldn't really cause any too much strain on the Arkham continuity because nobody would really know about it. And just have wacky villains that nobody cares about. Like, nobody's going to mention them again. Get rid of the one-night stories. I'm not the only one who sees this. A lot of people see it as well. It's very unrealistic. I just want to say that. It's really unrealistic. I can't think of any other Batman story throughout the Batman comics that's just set on one night besides Arkham Asylum. Besides Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight, those are the only Batman stories, and it feels lazy because they could have done a lot with Bruce Wayne. They could have done a lot with his character. They could have had him interact with the villains that he was fighting, maybe, you know, as friends or otherwise. You know, they could have had a lot with multiple day stories like what Spider-Man did. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, stop comparing. Well, Spider-Man made me feel more empathetic and made me actually feel for the character of Spider-Man, while Batman was just a one-tank army running through Gotham, literally throwing everybody through boxes and windows, and then fighting the bad guy at the end. And especially for Arkham Knight, where at the beginning he's Batman, and then at the end he pretends to kill himself. What? When did this happen? When was this arc? When was that? It just magically happened. When did we ever get the tease of a Nightfall Protocol? Never. But if it happened over multiple days, multiple weeks, we would have seen the breakdown of Batman. We would have seen him planning the Nightfall Protocol. We would have seen stuff like that. Like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, I'll let pass. But even Arkham Origins, that could have been multiple days. You have a week to kill the Batman. That would have been cool as shit. There would have been so many twists and turns. You would have been fighting a villain each day instead of one villain like through an entire night. It was so weird. 8 villains in one night. I mean, sure, Batman can do that. Sometimes you're gonna have to question the logic behind the time it takes to do all of this. It takes so long, but it's like still nighttime, still dark outside. The moon is still in the same spot in the sky. The one night stories I feel like have to go. And the last one, I think a lot of people have predicted this. It's no more Joker as the main villain. Please. I don't care if you add him as a side villain. You know, just put him as a side villain for like one little mission. A cool way to do that would be having Harley Quinn make her first appearance and break out the Joker, and then have her run off with the Joker and shit like that. You know, that'd be cool, and then you chase him down. You don't really know Harley Quinn's there until you track down a Joker, but then she traps you. And it could be like the Mad Love storyline. That could be like the side mission. Mad Love. There you go, WB Montreal. I just gave you a side mission with the Joker in it, and it's done. No more Joker as the main villain in the Arkham games ever. Thank you. I'm done here. Tell me what you guys don't want to see in these Arkham games, because honestly, I know a lot of people have very varied opinions, and I want to see what you guys have to say. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future about Batman Arkham 2019, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. Peace out.